Hello and welcome to Pantheon of the Geeks. You join us for an unboxing video of the Genestealer Cult's Goliath. Here is the box. So on the bottom of the box shows you the two different options. You can build it as the Rockgrinder or the truck. And on the back of the box you can see a better view of what some of the truck and Rockgrinder parts look like. Did also notice there's a little Genestealer symbol down here, which is really cool, because you could cut that off, and if you're really careful with the knife you could use it as a template to spray that on there, but it might be a bit big. But we were planning on making some anyway, so to actually spray them onto the vehicles. That'll be in the future, not in this video, but I did notice that and I thought, ooh. So there's that. So you see the truck on this side, and I can see now there's a few differences between the two. That's built up at the back, that's open. We've also got different weapon mounts. So let's get this open and have a look at the inside screws and the instructions. There's it's one of these boxes that has these tabs on. It doesn't want to open. There we go. It's one of the box. Okay. There's also that one there we can put out. Oh. It's on the back of the box.
That's a little tray again.
It's a tray. I like the trays.
I do.
They're really good for spraying things in. And disposing of, because you've got lots of trays. Okay, so here is, it comes out a sprue one.
Cool.
There we go.
Is that what those black?
That's actually, I thought it was really flat on the picture. It's not. It's actually quite
beveled, isn't it?
Beveled in.
Yeah.
It looked a little bit beveled in, but I think it's the lights on the top make it look flat.
And probably with the way they've taken the photograph as well.
But there we go. That's one spray. Two sprays are the wheels and blades. The rest of the guns. We've also got 3 hybrid bodies on there. I think you need them if you build the truck. We're actually building the Rockgrinder. Variant of this in the, there we go, no transfers, so they don't have really much transfers, do they?
No.
They might bring that as a transfer at some point.
Probably, I won't be surprised.
But we have the Rockgrinder and the Goliath truck, the two that we can make from this. Rockgrinder follows 1 through 5 in the instruction book. This is 1 to 2 and 6 to 10. So let's have a shufty through. So there we go, that is where we're beginning. So let's have a look on these sprues. Yeah, they're very busy sprues again.
They are, aren't they?
Look at all these little blades. The flesh toads would love this. Right, so we're going to start. So we're building the Rockgrinder. I'm probably not going to magnetise it between the truck and the Rockgrinder. I'm going to have a look through the instruction manual in a second and then make a decision. I've also got another one at the side here, so I think we're building 2 Rockgrinders. But I'm probably going to try and magnetise the weapons if possible. So you'll see that as we go along. So we need to start with parts 1 and part 35, which is the side. Alright.
It's 37.
Okay, part 37, not part 35. So the mistake. Did the film on first?
That was quick. That's the quickest we've actually had.
Halfway through before there's an error. So 1 and 37, did you say?
37,
37 for the floor. It's pretty obvious to spot though, the actual piece you need.
Yeah.
17 is next after that. And then 23 apparently. Are those numbers right?
Let me just have a look. So you said 17.
So we got 1 there.
That's number 1.
There's 1.
17.
That's the size of the side of it. It's quite big actually. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, those are right.
Because of the wheel arch, just the tyres are pretty large, I like them. Yeah, I thought they were a bit larger in the picture than they actually are. They're a bit bigger than the Oak buggy type tyres. There we go, that's that side. So we'll cut all these parts off. It was 17, right?
Yep.
23.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the back piece for the front part there, I believe. We've already cut that off, so we'll tie these up before I stick them together, obviously. But that will fit into there by the looks of it. Ah, there we go. So it attaches via those little clips there. So they'll need to be glued on, secured. And then we have who rounds this? That's the front. The bit with the circle on is the front because it's got a circular cover on the front of it. And that looks like that fits onto there like that once it's attached. Seems like a good fit. Still need a bit of cleaning up before I do it. And then we have the back piece for this by the looks of it. Which is that part 23? Is that right?
Yeah.
And that apparently goes on there. Yeah, it'll go on there like that. So that bit will slide under there and that bit meets up at the bottom. That's pretty straightforward, isn't it? Looks of it. So we'll tidy them up, we'll stick them together and we'll back once we get to this stage. Okay, so there is that bit together. I've put two of these together. I found that this bit here is quite difficult to fit exactly up to there, so I had to do it in stage. I had to glue it to the top part and glue that bit on separately. But I also had to glue the top part to this as well before I put the glue on there to hold it in place. It's just a little bit out, not a lot, just a very small amount, and so it doesn't line up properly here, or it doesn't line up properly at the bottom, depending on where you put it on first. But there we go, that's together. So the next stage is the other side, which is part 3, was that right?
Mm-hmm.
Part 3 goes on here.
Yep.
Part 6, which is this bit here, goes at the back, covers the wheel arch, so that goes on there. And then we have a tiniest part imaginable, part 30.
That I had trouble finding. Which
will go, it's in that little hole there, that little rectangular hole, and it is basically, that, it's a little hoop, a little hook sort of.
I'm just wondering if they're going for the Malifaux experience.
Of getting things smaller.
Yeah.
It's not that bad yet, it's not that bad.
No, it's kind of like having it detachable, because there's like, why?
Yeah, unless, I suppose you build both versions like this, so yeah. So there's a hook on that bit, actually attached to it. So
that's why I'm wondering if they were going for the Malifaux experience.
Why couldn't they just attach it there? I don't know, maybe there's a reason. I can't see it, but there we go.
It's different anyway.
So we'll attach these parts, and then we'll move on to this bit. And that made that bit jump off the page when I start. Okay, so there we are so far. So next up we have part 7, which is the other side of that, and also notice that there are little holes on both sides. That's for the railings to go in afterwards, I assume, because there's little grips in there, and then the other side of the grips are actually in there. So that should fit the railings in, so that's pretty good. Then we have this bit here, which we're going to go on there, so that's like the upper platform. And we have this little bit of like armour plating or something, which just fits onto there. I don't know whether there's something else intended to go on there in maybe a future model or something, or whether it's just something you can choose to have on and off, and you could put a little hatch in, I don't know. But there we go, that just goes on there. And then we have the rear tail, which will go on there. So we'll put that together. Okay, there we go. That went in really nicely actually, even the tailgate sort of slotted in, sort of like clicked into play. There we go, that's where we're at. Next up we have the front part, which is that part 8?
No, yes, it's part 8, yeah.
That was part 8.
8, yeah.
With part 34, part 35, which are these front parts, which is going to go on to there, like that. And then we've part 11, which is another tiny little hoop.
Yeah, both
There's
part
2
11.
of those, and they go either side of that big bit where those 2 little square oblong.
I need to cut these off for you. I did cut them off because I thought there's two things going on here, isn't there?
Yeah, so there we have part 111 and part 10, which are going to go on top by the looks of it. So that covers, I think it does like a semi-circle on there. Part 111 will go into those 2 little slots there. It's like a handlebar, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's for the, that's part 10. I think going to go on there. Oops. If it doesn't go flying off. So it goes on there. And then it goes that way around actually. Yeah, it does. It goes that way around. And then we have 2 part 45s, which are just bars for the doors. So we'll get all those bits off and we'll put all these bits together and we'll be back for this bit. So that's where we're up to. You can see the front. So that's what the front of the truck would look like without the big grinder thing on the front. But we're putting one on. So next up we have part 31, part 9.
109.
109 even, sorry. Part 108, which is a hammer. Pretty cool hammer actually. I suppose you have to stick that on, but
you just never know when one might come in handy.
And then we have the 2 parts, which is 27 and 26 of the exhaust. So we're going to stick those 2 parts together, and then they go on there, which is where on here? It's on this bit here. So probably where that blocky bit is. It'll probably go over that one. Yeah, there. So it'll go on via that attachment. So we'll put these parts on, and then we'll continue. Okay, so there we have the handlebars on, the hammer and the exhaust there. Next up we have the top gunner, who's got a heavy stubber. So the heavy stubber is parts, what have we got here, 85, 83, 84 and 28, which is like a gas cylinder. Is it a gas cylinder?
Yeah.
Or is it a searchlight? It's a searchlight, isn't it?
Yes,
There's a mini little searchlight in it. Oh, right, there we go. And then we have the gunner, who's part 77, part 74, part 76, 73 and 75.
Yeah, that goes backwards kind of thing. Because I was trying to look for that, the body part.
Yeah, so the body goes together, then the arm goes on, then the head goes on, then you're at this stage.
Yeah.
And it's because they're both going into this bit, to the middle. And then we have part 13 as well, which is just like a plate, which goes, I think, behind him. Optionally, you don't have to actually have the gunner on. You can actually put the heavy stubber on its own. So that comes with, that's the same parts for make the heavy stubber, the part 84 for the mount. Then we have part 16 and part 16 as part of the handles, which goes on there. And then you can have the hatch, instead of down, you can have it closed, so it'll fit in that little gap there. So it's basically your choice whether you want it open or shut. What do you think? What we're doing? We're putting the gunner on.
I think we should.
I think we will actually on this. Normally I don't. Normally I like review, but something about him, he looks cool. Yeah, we're going to put the gunners on because there's going to be another guy stood outside anyway, operating the other gun. So we may as well. If he was the only one, I might not. But
well, then he's got a mate to talk to, hasn't
he? Yeah, he needs someone to talk to. So we'll put those parts on, and then we'll be back. Okay, so there is the gunner in place with the gun. It looks really cool, actually.
It does actually.
Yeah.
It looks pretty funky.
So what's next? So we have this is the fuel canister that goes on the side, isn't it? So we have part 20, 19, and then we have this bit, which is made up of part 21, 18 and 22. So that makes that bit, then you add those bits on, which makes this fuel canister, which goes onto the side, which will be where that gap is. And then the other bit is optional. It's optional where you put the whole thing on or not. I think, yeah, you could just leave that off and have the whole thing blank. Or you've got a fully closed shutter or a semi-closed shutter. There's only 2, we'll do one of each, just for variation. There we go. So that shutter just goes on that way around, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put the fuel tank together, we'll put that on. If there's no problems, we'll move on to the next stage, which is actually
the railings.
The railings, so we're supposed to put these on as well.
Okay.
We've got part 88, 89 and 24. Those just all fit in, and they should fit into those holes which are on this plate we put on. They should fit there, and there. So we'll do those 2 stages, and we'll get to this stage, and if there's any problems I'll stop. I'll be back once we're up to here. Okay, so there are the parts there. I'll actually just show you the different hatch on the other one we're building alongside this. There it is, slightly open. Slightly shut, very open. And now it is closed. That's the only difference so far. So next up, we're on to the Rockgrinder section. So up to here, this is how you build the truck, and then you go later on into the instructions. Now we're doing the Rockgrinder parts. So we have 49 and 46, which makes the first part of the weapon that goes on the mount. And we have 48 and 55. Is that right?
Yeah, they're actually on the sprue. That one's 54. Both this one and this one are both labelled up as 54, and I couldn't find a 55. I even asked you to look.
So it's 50. That's 54, isn't it? Twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you said this was labelled wrong as well. That
one should be 47.
So it's 44, should be 47. It's the other side of the bottom part of the gun.
Yeah.
So we're going to stick that together and get up to this stage, basically. And then we'll be back. So that leaves us this mount. There is a hole in there, and there's a little lip. Now the three weapons choices that you've got is the mining laser, which comes as stock. That's got a flat back, and it's got a little hole for a lip there. That's parts 58 and 57 together. They aren't glued, but they'll just slide on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to embed a magnet in there and put a magnet on the back of that. Next up, we have the clearance incinerator, which is made of 5, 4 and 42. And then also it's got this little bit 43 as well, which is down here. But it fits onto this little circular bit there. So we're going to leave that bit on. And these two parts will stick together, which is the part where it connects to the gun. There's a hole in there. Again, I can fill that with green stuff and put a magnet on. And then we have this little bit at the front which goes in there, which is the front part of the flamer. So we'll put that bit on. And finally we have the seismic cannon, which has those two parts. Again, we've got another hole bit on the back, so that's the rear part. So we're going to put green stuff in there, and then we're going to stick a magnet in there and put that so it will magnetise on as well.
Did it give you part 44 as well? 43, sorry.
Which one's that?
That one there.
Yeah, that's the extra bit.
Yeah.
Which goes into the flamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's part 117.
117 is this bit here. Now I'm going to leave this bit actually off.
Because it's optional, yeah.
It's not optional as such. It's just a side bit that goes onto these guns. But I either put that onto the side and then leave this bit off the flamer.
Right.
Or I put that bit onto the flamer and leave that bit off the side. So I was thinking, well, you could do either. You don't have to have the flame canisters. When the flame canister's on, what it does, it fits into this little bit there. And it fits onto the bit there.
Right.
And this bit fits into the same socket, unfortunately. Oops, there we go. You could put a tiny little magnet in there maybe if you've run small enough. I don't myself. Although it does sit in, so once it's got glue on it, sorry, paint on it, it will it's not going to fall out. So you just leave that bit separate if you want. Yeah, I'll do that. So we'll paint that up separately, and then once there's a bit of paint on that, that'll make it even tighter fit. That can go on there, and that'll be the little light. So we're not going to glue that on, we're going to keep that bit separate. But we're going to glue this hose onto the incinerator. And then we have these two struts which go with the seismic cannon. Did you say one of them was wrong?
Yeah, number 57 is actually 51.
Right, 57 is 51.
Yeah.
52 is right though, is it?
52 is right, yeah.
And 53 and 50 are the other parts.
Yeah, they're right.
And you can see down here that's 117 what we were on about before, and the 43 is there. So I'm going to go and put magnets in all this, and then I'll be back once they're glued together and ready to go on. Okay, so here we have the main part of the gun, and as I said before, we've put magnets in all those, so that should just magnetise onto that. There is the laser, and there is the seismic cannon. I'm not going to stick the infernal thing on, that's still drying, that connection, so I don't want to disrupt that for now, but I'll put it on afterwards. So next up we have the dozer blade. So we have these blades which are in a specific order, which is 69, 68, these are the right numbers as well, sorry.
No,
69, 72, 68, yeah. 71, 70.
Yeah.
Are they all correct?
They're all right, yeah.
Right, and there's two sets of those, is there?
Mm-hmm.
Right, So they go onto these end parts, don't they, once they're done.
Looks like it, yeah.
And so we'll put these together, then we'll move on to these parts, which are the little bits that go in those slots at the front. I like little blades. Was it 114? Are they the right numbers?
114,
yeah.
113, 112, 59, 56.
56, yeah. So those are all the right ones. So we'll stick these on in order and then put the resulting pile of blades into the grinder. And then we've got this bit here to do, but we'll do this bit first. Okay, so there is the blade so far. See that? You can put the blades either way around, by the way. Just to note, the blades in the middle are going down. On this, the blades on the outside are pointing inwards, which to me means the rocks will be thrown towards the front as opposed to away from it. So the debris is going to get stuck in the hole that you're drilling, and you're not going to get anywhere for ages. I don't know. I've put them facing outwards. I think it looks cool. That's the way I'm doing them on these. And the bottom one's going to be facing down, so the debris goes underneath it and it shovels it up and such like, and then throws it out via these, because that's what would happen. Otherwise, you'd just be stuck. Anyway, who knows? Let's build one and find out.
Okay.
But there we go. That's where we're up to. So next up is the set of blades which goes at the front. That goes in a specific order as well, which is 78, 87, 65, 80 and 79, is that correct? Yep. So we'll put those together and then we'll move on to do the final bit of the blade, which is just some bits on the back, which is 25 and 25, which are the struts which will attach to the front of the vehicle. The lights which go at the top, which is part 116, and this part here which is 36, which will fit onto the back here, and it puts an attachment on which will attach onto the front. Those two little circular bits on the front. So we'll put the rest of the blade together and then we'll be back. Okay, so there is the dozer blade finished. That is the back of the dozer blade. So one thing about this at the front, when you put it together, make sure the first one you put on has the there's a couple of spikes missing or sort of like filed down. They need to go to the back, and then if you put the first one the right way around, the rest should follow. And then that fits into there. You can see the glue still shiny on that. And then we've got this bar across there, which is fine. And then we have these two bits there, and the lights are on there as well. So once you've done that, the best thing to do is make sure this fits to the front of the, everything's in the right place. So those bottom bits actually go on almost like they would really. And those are the two bits actually attached to the top. So if you're going to magnetise this, the way you want to magnetise it is in these bits, because this is the whole bit that's holding it. The other two bits are just for show really. You could magnetise that bit as well just for extra strength. We won't be doing that with this today because they're both going to be rock grinders for the demolition, auxiliary demolition crew formation.
Yep. Can't remember what it's called.
Nutters with dynamite.
That'll be it.
Cool. So we'll move on to the next stage now, which is the back, which is the other part which is different from the truck. So we have this bit here, which obviously has all the dynamite stored underneath the tarpaulin. That's part 29, did you say?
29,
29.
Yeah. We've got 118.
118, which is a little, like, I don't know, box. That seems to fit, where does that go up to?
Is that one there?
That's going to fit there, is it?
Looks like it.
That looks like it covers up the back door.
Ah.
So, if I'm right, this will fit onto there. Yeah, and that bit will cover the door section, which is there. That goes on there then, okay. And then we have
90.
90, which is bars, which go... Is that 90, did you say?
Yeah.
Just not 100 and... No, it's 90, isn't it? Ah, just me being stupid. That'll go in there like that.
That's the other one.
In very delicate pieces. Be careful. Were they alright to cut off, by the way?
Yeah, they just cut them off really carefully and make sure that they don't ping anywhere because they're prone to pinging.
Those will go in that side. The slots are really good actually. It fits in really easy.
And that's number 14, which goes at the back.
So it's the back, because this would be on either version. On the truck it's down like that, and there's a couple of like chains holding it, so like people can jump on and off. That's why it's open top. On this version, though, it's shut, and then there's some. So the chains aren't on this one, like that. I think there's a ladder that goes down the back over it.
Yeah.
So again, that's if you wanted to magnetise this, you could, but you probably have to leave this up on both versions, if you wanted a truck or not, because there's a ladder that goes down here.
There is, that comes later on.
Which optionally goes where those holes are. You can see them there. If you're building the truck version. So you'd have to sacrifice the ladder from being there and put it on there instead if you want both versions and magnetising it. So we'll stick these parts on and then we'll be back. Actually, let's have a look at this. What is next? It's just the weapon mount, isn't it?
Yeah, I can cut those bits off if you want.
Just do that bit now as well, because there's only basically two parts, which the previous weapon, and there is the incinerator, by the way, goes on to. Now again, if you're building the truck, 110 is the bottom part.
That's 61.
That's 61 that you've given me. And that should just fit onto there. 110 is this bit. So we have this like cog section, which you're not going to see because it goes like that. And it fits in a bit like the other tank turrets do on some of the other models, like the tow engines on the Devilfish kind of thing. It locks into there and goes that way. Now this is on both versions, so you don't get two of these in it. So you'd have to probably glue this on if you wanted to do both versions, and stick a magnet in the middle of this, green stuff that, if you can, and then your actual magnet will give you the turning ability that this would normally. Since we're not building both versions, I can just do this as it should be, and those two bits should just stick together, and that's going to go on there and turn, and that's going to attach to that and have the weapon. Is that the ladder?
Your ladders, yeah.
That's the ladder, part 33, which goes over this back part. So we'll put all this together and then we'll be back in a second. Okay, so here is the Rockgrinder so far. I've left the weapon off for now until it dries and I can turn it without it falling to bits. So we'll move on to the gunner, is it?
Yeah, the gunner is parts 95 for the front, 93 for the back, part 12 for like...
That's part 12.
That's part 12.
So that's like a little console which just fits over this bar. That's why there's a little curved indent for it. And so he's not actually attached to the gun, so he's not like he's going all over the place when you try to turn it. So he's like standing still and the gun can move around without him having to hold it a bit, like, because this guy's like holding the gun.
Yeah.
So you'd have to move around with him, but that's pretty cool. I like that little separate thing.
Cool.
Is it like joysticks?
He's got joysticks in his hands. So you've got 92 and 91.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's holding like little joysticks, and then 86 for his head.
Brilliant. So we'll stick that together, put him on, and then we'll be up to this stage. Okay. So there's the guy in place, and the gun in place. So next up we have the wheels. So we have these bits here where the wheels are going to add on to. Weird why these are separate and just not part of the thing. I'm not sure.
Again, I think they're going for the Malifaux look.
And so if you look at something on here, if you put that on there like that, there's a big gap underneath. And you see that there's a gap. So you could have a longer section on. In fact, you could fit that there. So it's actually lower down.
Oh, I wonder if that's what it's for then.
It's so you can pimp your truck up maybe with
Pimp your truck.
so with lower suspension or higher suspension. Yeah, that's true though. It can either go in there or it can go there. It's not actually clear as to which one you meant to put it on. If it matters.
Maybe it's a choice.
That's really weird. I like that. I like the fact you can move the wheels up and down. But it doesn't show where it's meant to go. Oh, yeah, it does. It goes in the top position. I missed that bit.
Oh.
So you're meant to put it there. But why would you have that there unless the truck... I'll have a look at the instructions later. Maybe the truck has a different suspension. Oh, saying that, if this is heavier, the suspension, and it's the same model, it would be lower down. So that would be higher up. But that kind of attention to detail, that's not, that's a bit crazy. But we'll have a look, maybe it is that. So we'll just glue these in place basically. And they're meant to go on the top notch. I mean, if the truck goes on the bottom notch, that's why, because this is heavier. But I've never seen that on any vehicle before, model anyway. So those two go on like that, so let them dry, and then 2 parts of the tyre just fit together. They'll need some cleaning up though. Kadunk, like that. So they just need some filing down. So we'll do that. Is the other side just the other side?
Yeah, it's just the same. Oh, sorry, the other side, the...
Yeah.
Yep.
So the other side is literally...
Exactly the same.
Yeah. So the wheels go on and then these go on, same height. And then we stick the dozer blade on the front. So I'll put the wheels on and then I'll come back. Okay, so those are the wheels on. You had a look into the manual, didn't you?
Yes. And the wheels are differently set on the truck.
Yeah. So obviously it is a suspension thing, which is really cool actually, I like that. And it also means that this lines up perfectly with the dozer blade with knots on. So that's the last part to do, so we'll stick that on and then I'll be back to show you both of the trucks. So there you go, here's the finished Rockgrinders. So there we go, that swivels around from the side there, from that side.
They look so cool.
I think they do. I'm really surprised though that these have been around, you know, in all these Imperial worlds, that when an Orcs invaded the Imperial world they've not nicked any of these things, because there's those drills on the front. I think an Orc would just look at that and go, well, I'm having that.
Yes. Yeah.
So there we go. So the weapons are magnetized to do work. So you can switch between the normal laser weapon, 5-point incinerator, or the 10-point, I think it is, seismic cannon. So there we go. Looking forward to painting these guys. Heads are interchangeable with all the other heads from the Neophyte sprue. I did actually change the head on that guy to give him the one with goggles from, I don't know if you can see it, make that out in the camera, but he's got one of the Neophytes from the Neophyte squad. Completely interchangeable. Obviously if you build the truck you'll have some spare guys. We've got 2 spare guys.
We've got 2 spare guys, yeah. In total we've got 4.
Yeah, so if you build the truck you'll use the other 2 guys, I think.
Yeah.
And you'll have this guy spare, and he looks pretty cool because he's got 2 headlamps.
Yeah.
Either side of him. And then, so you've got a few spare guys if you want to increase the size of a unit. There we go. Really like these a lot.
Very cool.
Actually, could be one of my favourite vehicles.
Of all time.
Could be.
I like the fact that they've really thought about the wheel size kind of thing. The fact that you can have it up at the top or up at the bottom.
It's a nice little touch, that.
It is.
Because the suspension's obviously going to have dropped because it's so heavy on this. There you go. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, helps out a lot. And the other video that's going up today is the Acolyte
Icon Ward.
I've got it in my hand, which I haven't done yet. So that'll be the second video that goes up. It'll be a short video, there's only a few parts of it. So join us for that as well. And hopefully we'll see you again soon.
See you soon.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.